So everything I learned about Mexico, like outside of Mexico, turned out to be a lie. Even Mexican food is not Mexican food. Like
Oh,
I haven't
mhm.
had Mexican food since I came to Mexico. You know what I mean? Like maybe I had pico de gallo, which tastes similar to the way it does in North America, but that's about the only thing that's kind of similar. I didn't live in the States and I didn't live in the southern states, so maybe it would be more Mexican. But I only had like Tex Mex food in Canada and Europe, and none of that was similar to Mexican food. And similarly, the news as well, saying, when you say, oh, Acapulco or Mexico is dangerous, people imagine you're being robbed, being kidnapped, being assaulted on the street. And those things just really don't happen here. They happen in Europe. I've heard people in Europe saying, you don't want to go to the store at night because you're going to get stabbed. That would never cross my mind here. I can go to the store at like 2 o'clock in the morning, providing the store is open, and I would not feel unsafe. Say I needed something in the middle of the night, I would not feel unsafe walking or getting into my car and driving to the store. The one thing is that because, like you said, the cartel, whatever can happen outside of town,
Mhm.
it's probably best not to drive at night between cities because weird things have happened to people at night between cities. And there is groups that are not necessarily cartel, but like robbers or whatever that like
Mhm.
can
Mhm.
like highway robbery, that kind of thing. That still sometimes happens here, but it doesn't happen on the main highways, and it doesn't happen during the day. So that's the one thing that's like different. But other than that, I would say it's safer.
As far as the media painting Mexico as dangerous and okay, there's cartel. Well, yes, there's cartel, but when you paint the entirety of Mexico as dangerous, I think that is a claim that is not reflective of reality. So just like in any other place, there's going to be bad spots where you want to not be there. The way I look at it is people are looking at Mexico from two perspectives. You have the number six drawn on the floor, and one person is looking at the number nine, the other person is looking at the number six. One person is saying, yeah, this is dangerous, and those are the bad spots, right? The other person is saying, look, this is beautiful, you have to come here. Like, there's a lot of propaganda. So I would just say, hey, go to the good spots, change your life, explore Mexico and stay out of the bad spots.
Good old propaganda has kind of steered people in the wrong direction. I would say my experience in the United States uh, was, and I was totally sold on the idea that America's the greatest, it's the freest country. When I joined the military, that was kind of one of the things that was beat into my head to some degree. We're fighting for freedom, we're defending this great country. And over the years, I got to came to the realization, certainly living in different cultures for periods of time. I spent 2.5 years living in Germany, and I got to see there's a lot difference in kind of what can be perceived as freedom. And America might have some freedoms that other people don't have, but on the whole, I would say they have a lot less freedom and certainly some of the mental aspects and physical aspects of what real freedom is about. And ultimately, I think it comes down to the ability to be responsible for yourself. Like when you have freedom, you also have to take on responsibility.
But you can have anything done. That's just another aspect of freedom I wanted to mention, that if you get arrested or you get stopped by a police officer, it's more acceptable. It's not totally acceptable, but it wouldn't be a come as a shock to someone if you tell them, hey, let's sort this out somehow. And then you tip them off and you're on your way again. Or you can, if you need a paper, you couldn't get it done at an office, and then if you know someone, then you can have this thing happen without you even being present there. So yeah, there's a lot of that here. So freedom is kind of, you have access to, you can buy your freedom out of a situation, which you cannot have, for example, in a place like Germany, for example. You cannot even mention this or hint at it. You will be in big trouble.